Hello, good evening. I mean, where I live, it is evening in the moment. So I hope you have a good evening or morning or afternoon or a good night. And welcome at the MIR Method webinar. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to do the MIR Method together. And when we do that, we form this network, which is actually around the world. And when we change something inside us, we let go of things, or we improve things in our health or in our body, then we also change something in our environment. So the people around us also benefit from this. So welcome. If you're new here, then extra welcome. We're going to do the MIR Method in like 15 minutes. I'm going to talk about a certain theme before that. And when we then do the MIR Method, everything that I touched talking about this theme will also change inside you. You can let go of things, so that will benefit your health. So thank you for being here for the first time. And if you have come back and you've been here before, then thank you for coming back and joining me. We're going to do the MIR Method, and I trust that when we do it as a group, it works stronger for yourself, but also for the whole group, and also for this network of people around the world that we are creating at this moment. If you are looking at this webinar in hindsight, in a later date, later moment, then you can also contribute to this energy, and it will strengthen the whole group. So it doesn't matter if you look back at this at another time. So thank you for doing that. I noticed that these webinars are watched later on more and more by many more people. So it's very good that we know that this change in time, let's say if you watch this a day later, that it still benefits the whole energy source, the whole energy cloud that we make doing the MIR Method together. If you are a MIR Method coach and you are with me tonight, thank you for coaching the people. Thank you for finding the root causes of the illnesses and for guiding them through the healing process. Very, very valuable work. Thank you. I'm going to talk about something which is special for people that are highly spiritual or people who are highly sensitive. I'm going to show that later. First, I would like to talk a little bit again about the ideal healthcare system, because my plans are becoming concrete. What I noticed was that I was looking at a hospital. We have a hospital nearby with lots and lots and lots of rooms and lots of places to be and treatment areas and food facilities. And I was thinking, what if all these levels of health, the ones you see on the screen right now, so the people that treat the physical body, like the nurses and the doctors, and what if we add coaches, the ones that look at the thoughts of people? There are so many people in hospital that are so fearful that they might die. If they cannot think, if they cannot speak their mind, if they cannot let go of these thoughts, that also hinders their health. So they don't cure so well because they are thinking, they have these wonderful, no, not wonderful, they have these terrible, fearful thoughts. And if they cannot speak about them, if they can't let them go, that hinders actually being cured or getting cured. Emotional feelings, the feelings, of course, they have to be dealt with. Also the family members around the patient, because the family members sometimes are worse than the patient, because it is harder to, I find it harder to look at a patient, to look at somebody you love who is ill, than being the patient yourself. Because when it is your body, somehow it's different than when you are a bystander to a loved person that is ill. So also the feelings, the emotions of family members have to be dealt with. The fourth level, energetic, the free movement of energy, every acupuncturist, well, I think most of them, can do a pulse diagnosis. So they tap your pulse, they hold the fingertips on the area where the bloodstream is, and they can feel the pulse of your heartbeat. And they can actually feel by the strength of the heartbeat what your condition is like, how the energy flows through your body. It's amazing, wonderful diagnostic tool. I know of many nurses that are in hospital on the heart department. They also know how to do this. They are not acupuncturists, but they know how to do this feeling the pulse. And it gives so good information about the patient. And the fifth one, the spiritual, if people do not learn the lessons from why they are in hospital, how did they get there, what was the history that's all behind it, then they will repeat. If they don't learn the lessons, they will repeat this illness. So it's so important to look also spiritually at these patients. So why not get all these disciplines of therapists and doctors and nurses in one building? How good would that be? And please add some healthy food as well. I don't think it's very difficult. I think it's quite easy to organize this. And I already see these hospitals. I can see the people walking around through the building, going to the rooms. I can see kinesiologists, you know, these people that use muscle testing. What I do is I can feel by the strength of my muscles on the fingers, I can feel what is true for my subconscious and what isn't. So I can muscle test when patients come in the building. I can muscle test immediately on which of the 5 levels they need to be dealt with. And of course, most people need to be dealt with on a physical level, but they can, straight after that, they can go to a coach or a spiritual healer or whatever. So I see these people already walking through the building and finding their way to these different therapists that are working towards this holistic health care system. And it's quite easy to organize. I think it's the future, and I think it's quite nearby as well, especially when the med beds are free. Then we have a total revolution in the hospitals. So I wonder what is going to be. All right, let's have a look at the theme for tonight. I'm talking about gifted people, but gifted people that have special gifts, like they're very sensitive, they have these special antennas, they know immediately when a person is not such a good person, they have a feeling like something is not good here. Or the atmosphere, when they enter a room, they can immediately sense if the atmosphere is right, if there are positive people, or if the atmosphere is negative. They have a quite difficult situation when they enter a hospital where there is lots of sadness and fear. They immediately can feel this atmosphere, which can be a burden on them. They also have a gift of being a visionary, that they have visions of what is coming in the future, just like what I just said about the hospitals. They can think up things, they can invent things that other people cannot. They are the creators, the philosophers, the thinkers. So we need these people. However, many of them are not fully inside their body. They are not fully incarnated. They are not totally on Earth. And that is a problem. And when they are not on Earth, this is, look at the screen now, this is what then, what we can see. We see daydreamers. They have trouble with dealing with reality. We see people who have trouble with money. They spend money or they don't earn money. Somehow money doesn't click with them. They have no sense about money. So they have quite trouble with money. They usually believe in the good. So what they can is they see a person and they see its potential. They see what is inside the person. They see the diamond in the rough. However, if they do not take into consideration that there's behavior around this diamond, they might get into relationships that are quite toxic. So they have to be careful who they get involved with. Many gifted people are actually in relationships that are abusive, but they don't see it because they keep seeing the wonderful inside of a person. They are very sensitive, I already said, but also with the nose. They can, when they enter a room, they go, something's off here. What is it? They keep smelling around the room. They develop special gifts like clairvoyancy, or how do you say it? When you know things, is clairsentience? I don't know the word in English. They can hear stuff like from their higher self, or maybe from guides. They get these messages. They have Weltschmerz. I don't know if that's a word you use in English, but it means that they suffer from things that are happening all around the world. Let's say when they look at the news, they go, the pain that is on the news that comes inside them really strong, and they might even start to cry because of what they see on the television screen. So their sensitivity goes really around the world. They also might develop manic and depressed states of mind, and which alters. So that's quite difficult to live with for yourself and for others. And they also, because they are quite right-brained, and the right side of the brain is the part where it's the creativity, where you can envision things. It's where you have access to this infinite world you can use to create or to think up things, to invent things. But this is also the part where people are too naive and too gullible. So when a person of authority says you have to do this because it's good for you, then that's what they do. So they follow easily. When there is a guru, they are easily inclined to follow this guru and to believe everything this person says. So that's a problem for gifted people. Now, how did these people get so gifted? How did they come up with all these problems? So why do they have these problems? What happened? How did it develop? What happened? What happened was they had trauma to the body, which means something happened to their body physically or maybe emotionally, which was so painful that their soul had to leave their body. It's called dissociation. So people dissociate from their body. It means the soul leaves the body. People that are physically abused, that are hit or kicked by father or mother, when it's very, very strong, the soul leaves the body, and some people are on the ceiling, so their soul is up on the ceiling and it looks down at the situation where they can see the father or the mother hurting their body. They can see it from a distance. That's why children survive these situations. That's why they can handle it, because they are out of their body. When the trauma, when the beating is done, that's when the soul comes back to the body slowly, but usually doesn't go back into the body all the way. Usually doesn't. And then these people walk around with their soul hanging out of their body half, and that makes them very loose and influential for energies and for people that influence them, and they cannot think straight, they cannot concentrate well. So that's difficult. Now, why do I talk about this tonight? It's because I really like these gifted people and we need them. It's very, very important that these people come into their bodies all the way down to earth, and they stand on the ground firmly, because we need their gifts, and we need that their gifts are looked at, are listened to, are taken seriously, are understood. And because if you have, for example, application situation where you try to find a new person for your team, somebody comes in for an interview, if one of these special gifted people is in your team and sensing the new person, this new person might be a wonderful talker and the way they present themselves is wonderful, but then this sensitive person might feel like there's something off. Something doesn't add up. There's something fishy. And that's very vital importance, because it might be, for example, that there's a narcissist right opposite us who can be very charming, very successful, and everybody feels like, oh, we need this person in our team. But if there's a layer of deep insecurity underneath this new team member, then the very gifted person might already notice that and give a signal like, watch out, because I sense something that's off. So if this gifted person is taken seriously, it only happens when they are really grounded, really inside their bodies, really on earth. That's the only way they can be heard, they can be listened to, they can be taken seriously. So it's very, very important that these people come back into their bodies. All right, now how can you become more earthy? I don't know if that's proper English, but how do you get more grounded? How do you get more inside your body? There's two things. We're going to do two things together in the MIR Method style. The first one is, it might sound like an insult, but it's not. The first one is you need to let go of your victimhood. If you have been a victim of abuse, sexual abuse or physical abuse or emotional abuse, then it's totally painful, and especially if you are a sensitive person. Then you have all the reason to go to therapists and go to friends and talk about it. But there comes a time, there comes a day, you will have to let go of that. You will have to move on. You will have to accept the fact that you have been a victim and step into your adulthood and being a proper person with scars, but you have dealt with them and you have learned a lot from them. And being a victim is no longer of use, because you are going to be the person who is using his or her gifts for the benefit of all. So it's a very, very big step to get out of victimhood into this adult-like person who is moving forward and doing the things he has to do. I'm not saying this lightly, because I understand that if the pain of being a victim is very, very strong, you still might need to do more therapy or more writing it down or more healing for yourself before you can take this step. However, I'm encouraging you and inviting you to join us now when we do this sentence. I want you to stroke yourself lovingly and say this sentence, let go of victimhood. We're going to do this as a group, so you are in this group. Everybody's around you, helping you. And when you do this sentence, let go of victimhood, it will be easier to get out of the victimhood into the adulthood. And then you might start to be able to live the gifts you have. And that's just heaven on earth when that happens. When people really start to listen to you and they really believe you. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to start to stroke yourself really lovingly. And then we say the sentence, let go of victimhood. Here we go. Let go of victimhood. 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 Very well, very good. The energy that is freed by doing this is going very far. It's traveling around the world, but it's sort of touching many more people. So this looks quite good. Thank you for helping. Okay, now I'm going to do the second step, which is ground. When we stroke ourselves and we say ground, what we actually mean is, my darling soul, please come into the body all the way down until you are totally immersed in the body. When the soul and the body really can operate together as one. All right, here we go. Start stroking yourself really lovingly and say ground. Here we go. Ground. 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 Very good. Good. Yes. Quite a lot of people are yawning. Very good. When you yawn, you let go of things. If you had to sigh like this, that means you have let go the burden that's on your heart. That's what sigh. Sigh gives relief of the heart. All right, well done. We're going to do the MIR method now, all 9 steps. So everything we've been talking about with the victimhood and the grounding will now be inside the 9 steps. So this will give a total integral, how do you say that in English? So what we have done before is now integrated, will be integrated in the 9 steps. Okay, here we go. Step 1, optimize acidity. Optimize acidity. Optimize acidity. Detox all toxicity. Detox all toxicity. Detox all toxicity. Detach father. Detach father. Detach father. Detach mother. Detach mother. Detach mother. Clear meridians. Clear meridians. Clear meridians. Supplement all shortages. Supplement all shortages. Supplement all shortages. Balance hormone system. Balance hormone system. Balance hormone system. Fulfill basic needs. Fulfill basic needs. Fulfill basic needs. Optimize chakras and aura. Optimize chakras and aura. Optimize chakras and aura. Clarify mission. Clarify mission. Clarify mission. I think this has quite done something for the people who are very sensitive, because you really have been invited to, your soul has been invited to really calm down inside your body. So I really wonder what you have felt. If you would like to share it with me, please do so on mirmethod.com/together. And there you can post a reaction, and I'd really like to read what you have felt. All right. Well, I wish you a very good night if you're going to sleep now, or a very wonderful day full of energy if you still have a day ahead of you. And I hope to see you again sometime. And I hope your health will improve every day more and more. Very much good luck with the MIR method, and I hope you really have enjoyed it. Okay, see you again. Bye-bye.